The Pentagon is making a huge move, and it involves teaming up with some of the biggest names in technology for a massive AI upgrade. So today we're going to break down exactly what this new platform is, who's involved, and why it is such a massive deal for national security. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's just get right to the headline that's grabbing everyone's attention. Elon Musk's AI, Grok, is officially being deployed by the U.S. military. And we're not talking about some small little pilot program here. No, this is a full-scale rollout across the entire Department of Defense.
And to give you a sense of scale here, just think about this number, 3 million. That's how many people are about to get their hands on these new AI tools. We're talking everyone from analysts sitting behind a desk at the Pentagon to soldiers out in the field. It's a truly massive step in how the government is embracing artificial intelligence.
So, what's behind this sudden change? Well, this really represents a major strategic pivot for the Pentagon. For years, the thinking was to build everything in-house, but now they're realizing that to truly stay ahead, they've got to tap into the innovation happening in the commercial tech world.
Now, the centerpiece of this entire initiative is a brand new platform, and it's called GenAI.mil. The easiest way to think about it, imagine a super secure, members-only app store, but instead of games and social media, it's filled with powerful AI tools specifically chosen for the Department of Defense. So, at its core, GenAI.mil is that single, secure gateway for all 3 million of those users to tap into these commercial AI models. And it's important to note, right now, this is for unclassified work, but the vision here is to totally transform how all those day-to-day, non-secret tasks get done across the entire department.
So, what can people actually do with this thing? Well, a whole lot. We're talking about everything from deep research and analysis to automatically formatting documents to handling tedious administrative tasks. But it also gets into things like analyzing video and images, helping with intelligence planning, and even coordinating complex logistics. These are the nuts and bolts of the military, and they're all getting a huge AI power-up.
Of course, the number one question is, how do you keep this secure? This is the DoD we're talking about. Well, first, you can't just log in. You need a common access card. That's the standard military ID. Second, the platform is certified at what's called Impact Level 5, or IL5. That's a very high security standard, meaning it can handle sensitive but unclassified information. And maybe most important of all, the data is totally isolated. Anything a user puts into the system is not used to train the public AI models. That means there's no risk of sensitive defense information accidentally leaking out.
So to pull all of this off, the Pentagon basically assembled a dream team of AI companies. You can think of it as a kind of tech alliance, bringing together the absolute best in the industry to provide the brains behind this new platform.
And here's the lineup. The platform actually launched with Google's Gemini already live. But the big headline, of course, is that xAI's Grok is on its way. And you can see they're not stopping there. They've got placeholders for OpenAI's ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude. The whole idea is to give users a choice so they can pick the best AI tool for whatever job they're doing.
But what makes Grok the big story here? Well, while all these AI models are incredible at processing language and doing research, Grok has a secret weapon. It is plugged directly into the real-time fire hose of information on the X platform. For the military, that means access to an unfiltered, up-to-the-second pulse on events, conversations, and sentiment from all over the world. That's a real game changer. So we've covered the what and the how, but maybe the most important question is, why the incredible rush? Well, it all boils down to the global race for AI dominance. This isn't just about getting a cool new piece of software. It's about making sure the US stays ahead of its adversaries in a critical new domain.
And just look at this timeline. It is absolutely wild. They awarded the contracts in July, and by early December, less than 5 months later, the platform was live with Gemini. Then, just 2 weeks after that, they announced the deal with xAI for Grok. They are moving at lightning speed, and that tells you everything you need to know about how urgent they think this is. And you can hear that sense of urgency when you listen to what the top leadership is saying. They're not talking about this like it's just another tech upgrade. No, they're framing this as a fundamental step toward AI-driven warfare and a massive culture change, all designed to outpace any potential rivals. But what about the people who actually have to use this stuff every day? How are 3 million service members and civilians reacting to being told, hey, you have to start using AI for your job now? Well, as you might guess, the feedback so far is a mixed bag. On one side, you've got a lot of excitement. People are seeing the potential to make their jobs easier and more effective.
But you also have a lot of questions about how this will all work in practice. And, of course, there are some real concerns about data and whether they can fully trust the answers they're getting from an AI.
And here's the real kicker. This isn't an optional beta test. The Pentagon is signaling that the era of small, voluntary tech pilots is over. This is a top-down, mandatory, enterprise-wide adoption. Everybody is expected to get on board. That is a huge cultural shift for an organization this large.
So, what's the big takeaway here? This is way more than just a new platform. It really marks the beginning of a new era, one where big tech and the military are working more closely together than ever before. And the implications of that partnership are going to be felt for years to come. Which leaves us with a pretty massive question. We've just seen commercial AI get handed to 3 million defense personnel to transform things like paperwork and data analysis. So now that it's in their hands, what's the next battlefield it's going to completely transform?